Hi verse, it's me the Angel Man here today to give you guys another video. Welcome back first to Verse News. That's right, I know it's been a minute. I actually already picked up my video first for the next segment of React With Me, and I was going to do that today, but I decided I'm going to put that back for a day or two because I just found out that today DC Comics just came out with a new video, and it has to do with James Gunn announcing his first step or the first phase. Actually, here is called Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. I'm really curious to know about what this is about. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it. And by the way, for anybody that saw my last Verse News talking about the fact that, you know, Superman, Henry Cavill isn't coming back, thank you so much for all the support and love from that video. I had a lot of awesome comments from you folks, and you know, it really meant a lot to me because, you know, the fact that we got a little bit of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, that really got me so mad. With the fact that they brought back Henry Cavill, and then it was like, oh, you know what? Never mind. Sorry about that. That was an error on our part, but we're gonna do this instead. I couldn't believe it. But you know, James Gunn, regardless, you know, he is a great director. He is a great writer. He definitely has his knowledge when it comes down to comics, right? You know, you clearly see that when it comes down to Marvel. You can definitely see that when he's here in DC. I mean, you know, I did enjoy his Suicide Squad way more than the first one. James Gunn is very creative when it comes down to writing his projects. And what the good thing about the Superman movie that I'll also give him is the fact that he isn't just directing it, I believe. He's writing it. I'm curious to know what the lineup is for this new DCEU, if it's still even called that lineup. I'm not sure if any of the new movies that are coming out are even canon, but I'm looking forward to finding out. So with that said though, Verse, let's get to it. Alright, Verse, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. Please let it be good news. Please, please, because I'm just...
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of our jobs, mine and Peter's.
That's not true. I already disagree with that. I mean, the CW, HBO, even other networks that have DC properties that I'm not thinking about right now, they all have been doing DC shows. What are you talking about? I mean, you know, HBO had Titans, they had Doom Patrol, I believe, but now I believe they're canceled. They also have a Peacemaker, which is his show. That's still going on, I believe. CW, wow, like, you know, a lot. And had great starts and, you know, just went downhill.
To come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have...
So, I thought about that. That's unfortunate. I was kind of wondering about Patterson's Batman. I honestly thought that, okay, because it's a new Batman, maybe they're gonna bring his into it. No, it's not. So, Teen Titans Go, I didn't even count that in the first place. Am I being honest? I don't know where Teen Titans Go came from. Are we gonna have another Batman? I feel like we have too many. I mean, we had two Batmans going on. We got Ben Affleck's and then we got Matt Reeves' Batman. Okay, I don't want to pause too much. Let me see where he's going with it.
Pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love, that resets the entire DC universe. And then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about.
Okay, now I have to pause for this one. So, The Flash. Oh my god, The Flash. I don't know what's going on with that movie. I'm hearing that it is confirmed that they will be releasing it. People did get upset because James Gunn and others have confirmed that Ezra Miller is going to continue playing the Flash. From what I've heard in screenings inside Warner Brothers, right? People have said that the movie is actually fine. It's obviously the lead actor, Ezra. I don't know how they're going to make it work. They're definitely trying to come out publicly about the fact that Ezra is getting a lot of help, which is good, but Ezra has caused more harm than good. If I'm being honest, right? I did a lot of Verse News covering what was going on with Ezra's story. So now I understand why they were so persistent on Flash. Because even when I heard about that, I was like, why are they making such a big deal with the Flash? If you're ditching everybody else, why keep him? But I guess some of the heroes are still gonna be here? I don't understand. Like he said, first Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Blue Beetle, I believe, and then there's gonna be Flash, which he just said is gonna reset everything. It's gonna be a Flashpoint type of movie. I could tell. And then there's still gonna be Aquaman, but Ben Affleck's Batman's in it, from what I've heard. I'm so lost. I really don't understand how this timeline is gonna work. All right, let me just hear what's coming, because I'm already getting pissed off. I'm getting pissed off. Okay.
So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol.
Right.
It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait.
I never read it, but I heard of it.
Okay. Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time.
No way!
And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
Superman Legacy? That's a huge Give me a second. First, I have the comic. I have All-Star Superman. Now, there are two versions of this, right? There is the comic, and then there is All-Star Superman, right? The animated movie. Now, if you watch the movie, in my opinion, it's not too great. They took out a lot of stuff. Like, a lot. It seems like in the movie, they just went straight into it instead of really going into the whole thing. Because this comic, when reading it, it's pretty long. It's a pretty big comic. A lot of stuff happens in this. And the fact that this is going to be the first one, All-Star Superman? Okay. I really would like to have seen that with Henry. I'm not gonna lie. It's just, I got so used to Henry being Superman, right? Because he plays an awesome Superman. And just hearing who could be the next Superman is just my biggest question. And the fact that they're gonna do something with Amanda Waller, I can definitely see that. For Amanda Waller to have a character like her, you know, to be so secretive and to be doing things that are incredibly shady, right? You do want to kind of get to know her a little more, figure out her backstory. But I'll be honest, I do like some of the choices that James Gunn has done so far. It's just the timeline that I am frustrated with. It is very confusing a little bit. You know, if you're not really paying attention, then you are going to get lost.
The next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns.
HBO, okay, really on this
terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost,
you know, it's gonna be good. It's gonna look good too.
A couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine.
I've heard of them. Yeah, that's supposed to be a big deal.
We are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary.
Right.
I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing it.
I read one comic from them, but it is good.
Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island.
Right.
The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin.
So there is a new Batman then, yeah, okay.
There's
new Batman.
In line, and so this is the story.
Curious about that one.
Of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes.
Yeah,
that
is.
Fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future
yeah.
who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about. A very dark story in the origins
Swamp Thing?
Of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories.
Okay.
Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me.
Yeah.
I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
My thoughts on the situation of Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. I like some of the creative decisions that James Gunn is doing when it comes down to DC. So it seems like if we're going to be starting from scratch, I like the fact that we're not calling them phases like what Marvel's doing. This is definitely something different. I guess here we're going to be calling them chapters. I'm fine with it. I'm so fine with it. It's different. It's DC's thing now. You know, it's James Gunn. He made it very clear that he's saying, look, I want to give you guys something different, something that you haven't seen, and I welcome that with open arms because for years, if you guys have seen any of my videos, I made it more than clear that I am superheroed out because even though I do enjoy them, there are times where the genre can get a bit tiring. It can, right? Because after a little while, it's seeing people in capes and powers and some type of drama or about their sexuality or something, right? Like, it's always, you know, it's the same premise every single time. And it does get tiring. That's why I was like, man, the fact that Marvel made that announcement and they're just going and going, I was like, God, this shit ain't gonna stop. As soon as I heard James Gunn said 8 to 10 year plan, even I was like, I love DC, but I need a break. I was like, I kind of need a break. If it's going to continue, right? I'm thinking, okay, how are they going to do it? I do like some of the decisions that James Gunn is doing. Because he's not just doing solo movies. He's doing projects that are big. These are big storylines, by the way. They're not small stuff at all, right? And that's something that I'm going to give James Gunn credit. And one thing that I do like about what James Gunn is doing is that he's literally involved in everything. He's not pulling a Kevin Feige where he's involved with the production and who's cast and stuff like that, you know, because he doesn't get involved with scripts and stuff. Clearly, with what's been going on with Phase 4, he hasn't been getting involved with that. But here, James Gunn is like, look, when it comes down to Superman, I'm writing the script. When it comes down to this new series with the animated characters coming in and out, I already wrote the episodes. He's like, when it comes down to Supergirl, we're going to be showing Supergirl, you know, with having problems and anxiety and stuff. Not Starbucks Supergirl from the show, not that shit, okay, where it was just a white girl, okay? I was looking at her and I was like, that's not Supergirl. Supergirl has anger management issues. She gets pissed. I was like, she doesn't go and go, oh my God, I got my Starbucks. And she doesn't do that. Alright, that's not Supergirl. So when I was watching the show, I was like, there are so many problems with this. But besides that, I do like the fact that James Gunn is like, look, I'm here for the story. I understand that people are very cautious of me, but I'm doing this. I'm gonna give you guys what you guys want. And I appreciate that. They're going to get a new Batman. It's gonna be a new Batman. I am curious about Green Lantern, and that is on HBO. Come on, anything that's on HBO, man, has good production. I am happy about that. HBO is a huge supporter with DC, man. I love that. Oh, giddy vibes. And the fact that they're doing Wonder Woman on HBO, it's gonna be great. Because think about it, if they did Game of Thrones, they screwed up the ending. But if they're doing Game of Thrones, imagine Wonder Woman with almost the same premise, but you know, Spartans and stuff. As a DC fan, I love how much effort he's putting into it, and I appreciate that. All right, James Gunn, I wanted to see where you're going. Hopefully it turns out well, but if it doesn't, I will shit on it. I will be like, James, you had me going at first, man, but then What happened? We had something going. What'd you do? Other than that though, verse, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters? Are you not? Let me know. I'd be happy to hear. So with that said though, verse, if you like what you saw, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification for more content as always. And with that said, have an awesome day and look forward to the next video, verse. Laters!